time for the ride home in ENC.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
This is your 5 o'clock drive with Patrick Johnson.
Holy mackerel!
More news, more interviews, more ECU stories than you can shake a stick at. Hey, stop shaking that stick. This is the Patrick Johnson Show.
Pirates win! Pirates win!
On 94.3 The Game.
You know, I always wanted to know what it felt like to be a turkey in an oven at Thanksgiving. And you know what I feel like today, Pilk?
We know what it is, man.
Ooh.
I think this is the fourth time in the last year, maybe fifth. No, it's fifth time in the last year and a half. The damn, what's it called, is out.
AC. How could you forget? We don't want to forget about it now. Yikes. Great to have you here with us. We press on. It's the Patrick Johnson Show. Final show for me this week. Philip the Rep Pilkington will be in the house tomorrow and a special road show Friday from Sup Dogs Chapel Hill, where he will be recanting and doing the postmortem on ECU Tennessee baseball. So that's going on Friday. Pilk also gets to play a little double duty tomorrow with a Talk of the Town appearance in the morning. And our interns are here today. Who do we have, Pilk?
Mary and Kayleen.
So what Mary and Kayleen need to know about Pilk is occasionally he gets a little big for his britches. Are you all familiar with that saying? Do they say that in Canada? Okay. And sometimes he needs to be reminded of my plight. And tomorrow he'll get a great reminder of my plight. Up early to do radio all day and then close it out at 5 o'clock. Go ahead, Pilk. Tell him. Affirm this. You need a little reminder sometimes. You get a little big for your britches.
Yeah, sometimes. But, hey, you know, it's going to be a long, fun day. I get to have a co-host with Dom. I get to hang out with DeMarco. Get to do everything.
Well, that's the other thing. We have, like, whenever Pilk now has an entourage and a staff of about 18. And for me, it's just me and maybe Pilk. That's it.
Well,
that's it.
Dom is still in Wilmington on his very brief summer break he gets. So he is co-hosting, but he can't co-host and produce because he's going to be in Wilmington. So he's going to
I see.
Sign in.
He's going to sign in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's why there's two.
All right. Well, don't be assing off tomorrow, guys. Keep it above board. Friday, you can do whatever you want. You'll be at Sup Dogs. I think all rules are off for the Friday Sup Dogs show at Chapel Hill.
I agree.
And by the way, I think you will need to here's my prediction for that. I think you're going to have some Pirate fans there.
I hope so.
I think there will be some ECU fans there soaking up some victory vibes after we knock off Tennessee. Come on, Pilk. Get with it. Let's see here. So that's what's going on there. I didn't mention this yesterday. I should have, but I did not. So one of the sponsors of the company, IBX Media, is Beauty Bar MediSpa. And I got a hydrofacial yesterday, Pilk.
Look at that.
Can't you see the youthful glow?
Yeah. Get a nice little tan going with it. You spent some time on the beach this last couple weeks?
I went to my brother's Saturday, and it was enough time to get out in the pool before the storms came. So, yeah, I got a little bit of sun before all that happened. Also, I took my nephews, Fitzpatrick J. and my little buddy Smitty, they wanted to go to the All-Skate in the county they live in the town they live in. There's a skating rink. And they wanted to go to and I if I'm lying, I'm flying, and my feet ain't left the ground. Pilk, there were adults in there skating during the All-Skate. And I'm not talking about, like, with their kids. I'm talking to, like, grown-ass adults, like, speed skating around the track.
There you go, man. You know, got to get out and get your exercise somehow,
I guess. They look like they'd be characters in Eastbound and Down, some of them. The kids,
I'm sure they looked like some characters.
The kids, I understand. They're kids. Adults? It was interesting. It was a little bit of a gumbo soup, a gumbo of society. Pilk, would that be the way to put it?
Yeah, I think so. That's a
good way to put that.
Way to say it's a Nice mesh.
Yes, mesh of people, exactly. All right, what did you round out the 5 here? You've only had all day.
Yeah, we got 5.
Do you talk about my Carolina Hurricanes or no?
We have a hockey kind of as the 5th, promoting them and talking about a curse.
All right.
That still
a curse. We have a curse. Okay. Well, I'm always here for a good curse. Let's see. Intern Mary, come on out here. Come on down. Let's do the top 5 at 5 right now on the Patrick Johnson Show.
This may very well be our last mission. Let's make it count.
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
It's impossible.
Now some stories you may have heard.
Ready?
Or catch it for the first time. This is your 5 at 5 with the P-Man.
All right, so we're about to start. Mary, what number we start with? 1. Stick to the microphone.
1.
All right, there we go. You're from Little Washington?
I am, yes,
All right.
sir.
All right, very good. Great stuff there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Intern Mary. Get ready, Caitlin. You're going to be announcing another number at some point. All right. All right, Pilk, what do we got for number?
1.
What do we got?
All righty, number 1. If I toggle over here, the College Football Playoff Committee says that they will, or the SEC meetings are going on, but according to reports, they will be discussing the potential of a 2014 playoff, but will not officially come out with any,
right. Well, it's going to be the topic of discussion essentially in Florida. By the way, did you see where Feinbohr's tent got blown over?
No.
Yeah, there was a great shot that our friend Brett McMurphy put up on X. That I guess the day they were setting up for the SEC meetings, a gust of wind galed through, and it blew down Feinbohr's tent.
Nice.
That he was going to be in. So I kind of chuckled at that. Anyway, this is Heather Denich, I'm told, from ESPN, laying it out for us.
Hey guys, I'm in Destin, Florida for SEC spring meetings, and Commissioner Greg Sankey said yesterday in his opening remarks that he does not expect a decision on the format of the college football playoff to come out this week, but they are going to have a lot of conversations about it. But the bottom line is this: there are concerns in this conference about a 2014 playoff possibly devaluing the regular season, watering down the field, and the possibility of teams resting their starters. If you've got 2 teams that are playing and they both know they're going to be in the field, it changes that game. They're trying to figure out what the tipping point is. How much is too much, and is it too fast to go to 24?
So Danny White, who is the AD at Tennessee, and if that's a familiar name to you, he was the AD at Central Florida at one time.
Was he also the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys?
I don't think. No, it's not. It's different Danny White, I believe. But anyway, he was the. I do know he was the guy who was the AD at UCF, and he came out apparently in some post meetings yesterday and said he's in favor of the 24 playoff. Now, the OG podcast, they do a branch-off podcast with Joe Ovius and our friend Dimitri Ravanos that kind of talks about sports business. That's how we say it in Kinston, business. And this is what they said when it came to the SEC and why the SEC maybe is not, particularly Greg Sankey, the commissioner, at least going into the meetings, had not endorsed the 2014 playoff. Interesting cut here from those gentlemen.
Yes, it's spring meeting season, the Emerald Coast, baby.
And everybody was waiting on Commissioner Greg Sankey to take questions because the Big Ten, they want 24 teams. The Big 12, they're on board for 24 teams. And most recently, the ACC is now on board for 24 teams in the college football playoff. Sankey has been adamantly opposed to expanding the playoff beyond 12. He's doing what ESPN wants him to do. They don't want this thing to expand because they don't want to pay more money. The SEC also knows they have control of everything with their partnership with ESPN. I'm tired of the threats. I'm at the point now with the SEC in particular. I think it was the Georgia president who floated this out last week. Okay, you want to do your own playoff?
Yeah.
Do it. Go do it. And it's there for them. They're at 16 right now. They could easily add 4 teams. They can create 2 10-team conferences, if you will, within a conference.
Yeah.
We'll call them divisions for this sake. And then you could have it built and structured where the top 2 teams out of their divisions get a bye week or whatever. You could do any number of things to create your own playoff and crown an SEC champ. And then you could just say, we're the best team in college football.
You would have to add 2 more teams. I don't think the SEC has any interest in adding even 1 more team.
They could add Carolina and Duke, and you need 2 more. Because you also need marks.
But
you also need marks.
Here's the thing. You need marks, but you also have to sell all 16 current members that it is worth dividing the pie a little bit more. And Duke and Carolina are national brands.
Yes.
If you go for Duke and Carolina,
can you imagine a basketball package that includes
I agree.
Carolina and Duke having to go to Lexington?
I agree.
Like, come on.
I agree. But if you are going and saying we're going to add Duke and Carolina, and the North Carolina State Legislature does what the Virginia State Legislature did so long ago and say, hey, Carolina's tied to state, you got to take them too. If I'm Greg Sankey,
real quick on that,
I say, thanks, we're good at 16. And I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm just saying the SEC mentality would never allow themselves to be talked into taking an SMU, a Cal, and a
No, that would never happen.
All right, a lot to unpack there. Some of the simpler points. I hear what Joe's saying about why the SEC, ESPN basically doesn't want to pay that kind of money for a 2014 playoff. And I don't buy this, it's going to water down the regular season or, this. And the Dinich cut was from the day before, and this was about, she said, resting starters. Well, here's part of that too, Pilk. It was voted on yesterday that so everybody cheats, the SEC will not allow those cupcake pre-Thanksgiving games anymore. That is a league weekend now. You can still play the cupcakes, but you got to play them early in the season.
Well, everybody's playing the cupcakes.
Sure, but it's not. Because that really just bastardizes the whole thing late in the season. It's really now the benefit of that for something like the American is you usually get a better TV windows that weekend.
But yeah, that is the one thing is it does allow everybody else to kind of have their moment in the spotlight while somebody's playing Lamar and somebody else is playing I don't know, the Citadel.
I mean, yeah. I mean that's and the SEC has always liked it because it is a guaranteed 8th or 9th home game.
Yeah. Well, it could still be a guaranteed 8th or 9th home game when you play it week 1, week 2, like everybody else.
I understand, but I'm just saying it's because they already were loading up. So I mean, now this is also prior to the 9 conference game schedule. So that does change things a little bit as well. The thing with the legislature is fascinating. And, there's a big battle now just over tax money out of the gambling profits. We haven't talked about that. We need to talk about that one day next week. Because where that has gone is state is really lobbying hard, and they have kind of joined those lobbying efforts of North Carolina to both get $25 million each. So NC State is viewed on the same plane, at least by current lawmakers, as North Carolina for some things, which is why I think you would see if North Carolina were to leave to go to the Big Ten or the SEC, there would be a push for NC State to go with them from state lawmakers. And what he's mentioning, when Dimitri mentioned this, for those of you who weren't around back then, Virginia, they were voting to expand the ACC, and Virginia obviously was in the ACC, but lawmakers said you cannot expand, and Virginia is not allowed to vote to expand without Virginia Tech being included in the expansion. And what we didn't have here, I think Bev Perdue was the governor at the time. She didn't do it. Nobody lobbied, or even if it was Mike Easley, nobody lobbied on behalf of ECU to say, hey, because basically, and Pilk, historically, you probably have heard this before. East Carolina and Virginia Tech were pretty much a neck-and-neck program when they started playing in the late 80s. They were very similar. Schools were similar in size. Football stadiums were similar size. The team had they were just very similar. I think ECU probably historically at that point had a little more success. And it is just a deal where the North Carolina lawmakers didn't go to bat, but they're going to go to bat for NC State. Duke's gone. Wherever this lands next in expansion, Duke will be there. And everybody says, it's about football. Duke is spending on football now.
Yeah.
But
also they're private, so
right, and but they have the national brand in basketball. They also did cut. This is something I've seen in the last few weeks. They've cut over 350 faculty positions.
So you got to pay Darian Mensah to play for
that's
Miami.
What you got to do. What number are we on? 8, 9? Where are we?
2.
Okay, let's do that one next.
All righty, number 2. Our second story today is the PGA of America president has resigned. He was suspended earlier in the week. That is Don Rea Jr. Resigned from his position on May 22nd. He had been suspended throughout the rest of his term, which was going to end in November. Vice President Nathan Charnes had taken over that spot and been promoted. A lot of this was due to the lack of success at things such as the Ryder Cup, and overall the board just felt that his leadership qualities had floundered.
So this had to do with the Ryder Cup on U.S. soil in 25, correct? Last year.
Yeah.
Okay. And the crowd, which gets fired up. That's one of the charming things and one of the things we get excited about the Ryder. So are the Euros going to be held to a similar standard? I mean, first of all, I think unless I see Rory McIlroy's name involved in this because he got, the crowd coming down on him. And we all know Rory is just a whiny crybaby. So is this the reason? Rhea also said, blah, 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 toxic atmosphere, attempting to minimize the fans' actions by comparing the intense heckling to a youth soccer game. What? So he got suspended for the remainder of his 2-year term. It was slated to be up. I mean, I guess this is something. But, I mean, if the standard is we can't root actively against, which has become the thing now. Not saying it should happen in golf, but it has become the thing in the Ryder Cup, and I guess the President's Cup, if anybody cares. To me, Pilk, that is the thing that, and if I'm not mistaken, a lot of this really started on U.S. soil with Patrick Reed, or on I don't know which country it was, but Patrick Reed kind of started this. It was the Euros, I think, coming down on him a few years ago.
Yeah, it was.
So are the Europeans going to be held to this? They can't say bad words?
PJ, look, I think this is a little bit of a cover-up for how bad the U.S. performed.
Well, it's got to be.
Yeah, they can sit there and say this is the patrons, it's because how people acted. No, it's because you got your ass handed to you. It's because you decided to select a captain who was 38 and playing the best golf of his career and wasn't able to select himself for the team because had he not played well, everybody would have came down on him. But we all know
the same things, though, Pilk? I mean, does this guy have any control over?
I don't know. And it's been rough, man. I'm tired of losing.
Well, I mean, everybody is, but I got news for you. Not happening next time around. Not happening in Europe in 27 is not happening. Will not happen. Next. Here we go.
Number 3.
Kayleen. Let's get a shot at Kayleen for the vast video
I didn't have time
here.
to get it. You did it so abruptly.
One more time.
Oh, I did it abruptly?
No, he threw it to you abruptly.
Right. Pilk's not on his game today.
Okay. Number 3.
All righty. Number 3. Last night, the Sports Emmys happened, and the analyst of the year went to Fox's Greg Olson, the number 2 analyst for Fox on their NFL coverage, not Tom Brady, who they are paying loads of money to, and gave Greg Olson his job, despite him having never done any analyst work in his life.
Yeah, I think the consensus is from everybody that Olson is the better analyst, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's nothing against Brady. I mean, it's not that Brady's terrible.
Oh, he got a lot better in his second year.
Yeah,
his first year, he was not very, but he's also being paid. I mean, an insane amount of money, a stupid amount of money.
I don't understand that, PJ. You pay the top talent so that you have them.
What's not to understand, Pilk? He won 7 Super Bowl rings.
No, but here's the thing: if the Fox 425 game is Green Bay and Dallas, regardless of who's calling the game, you're not going to have more people tune in. You're not going to be able to charge more for commercials because you've got Brady as opposed to Olsen. The TV contract is what the TV contract is.
Sure.
The teams that are playing are the teams that are playing. Therefore, the eyeballs on the product will be the eyeballs on the product, and they're just throwing money away by paying him this much.
I've heard that there was a little bit of movement. Maybe this is online movement, but there were some people who thought, okay, well, maybe Olsen would go to the CBS booth because there's been a lot of
they got Romo, though.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of hate coming down on him in recent years.
I like Romo.
I do, too. I think Romo's great. Big Hen, you like Romo?
What?
Big Romo fan?
Tony Romo?
Tony Romo.
For his TV?
Yeah.
He's the best.
See, Big Hen says he's the best.
Exactly.
If Big Hen
There you
says
go.
he's the best, then by God, he's the best.
There you go.
There you go. How about Henry Hinton late on a Wednesday?
Yeah.
Slaving away. Through the magic of radio. It is the Patrick Johnson Show. It's our top 5 at 5. We got to scoot along here. Do we have the sounder for number 4, Pilk, or are you just going to say?
I thought the interns were doing it. You didn't call any more in. So number 4 here, Josh Jacobs was
Magical
arrested.
show today. Magical.
Last night, he turned himself into police on charges of battery, criminal damage of property,
Who is this?
disorderly conduct. Josh Jacobs.
Right. Is he with the Packers now or with the Raiders?
The whatever his second team is.
Okay.
Packers.
Yep,
Yeah, he
Packers.
started with the Raiders, yeah. Strangulation and suffocation and also intimidation of a victim.
You know, had he introduced President Trump, he'd really be in trouble, I think.
Oh, my goodness. He would have the Jackson Dart treatment.
He'd be in real trouble. Get accused of beating your significant other or doing what? No big deal. Nothing to see here. Just normal police blotter stuff in the NFL. But be invited to introduce the holder of the highest office in the land. By golly, we can't have that.
NFL, man. The NFL.
I hate to generalize, especially with two really sweet and nice young ladies in the house. But you see Jackson Dart's, I guess his girlfriend. Dude ain't a Democrat. There's no two ways about that. You look at her, that's not a Dem. Not to get political, that's not a Dem with a girlfriend like that. Sorry.
It's true.
That's an SEC. That's an SEC girl. It's an SEC girl for sure.
It's an SEC sorority girl right there. Yeah, all day. All righty, number 5, moving on. The curse of the President's Trophy continues. The last team to win the President's Trophy and the Stanley Cup in the same year was the 2013 Blackhawks, who did it over my Boston Bruins. But the Colorado Avalanche were swept last night by the Vegas Golden Knights and will be playing the winner of the Montreal Canadiens and the Carolina
Hurricanes. Yeah.
Carolina Hurricanes in the Stanley Cup Finals Game 4 tonight from Montreal.
Let's go Canes. I think we need to win tonight for this thing to have any chance of getting wrapped up relatively early. And now Vegas waits. And Vegas is hoping for a 7-gamer. By the way, the one leg of our plan to do a broadcast from Las Vegas if the Canes are taking on the Knights in the Stanley Cup Final is complete.
Game 3, baby. Here we come.
I like it. Work on it, Pilk. Get it done. No Dr. No. Go to the Hammer.
Oh, we're definitely going to the Hammer.
Wags will join us next. We did such a great job the other day, but we are short on time. There he is for the vast video audience. So the great Jonathan Wagner, Wags, on the other side.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. Do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt & Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt & Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
Remember, get the podcast of the show on the IBX Media app or where you get your podcasts.
I listen on my Apple Watch. Smart speaker.
Listen while you work.
I listen everywhere.
The Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
All right, time to talk a little college baseball. Jonathan Wagner on 3.com. Wags back on the show. Longtime Caniac, much like myself. Playoff stubble, or is that the full beer? What's going on there, Wags?
No, I couldn't commit to the so, once it gets a certain distance, I just have to, just get rid of it. And
I understand. It's a good look for you.
Once around.
Yeah, you look good. It's a good look for you there. You look you look like a character in a television show is what you look like today, or a movie. You did such a great job Monday. I'm sorry we didn't. We had an adjustment kind of to the presentation of that, so I wanted to talk to you longer there. But so thank you for coming back today. Are you going to be Friday able to go to the game in Chapel Hill?
Within the last couple of minutes, I found out that I will be in attendance for ECU's game on Friday.
Wait, did you get a credential, or are you going as a fan?
Got a ticket.
Wow!
Look at you. Who are you going with? Is it you? Is it you and Casey?
I'm going with Alex, and we're using Casey's parents' tickets.
Wow.
Look at that. Casey hooking somebody up. Casey doing something nice for somebody?
Casey doing something for somebody else. Did Casey lose a bet to you, or did? And for those that don't know, Casey was an intern here. And there's not many people I could say. I'm frightened of Casey. Casey is like the gruffest character in the history of gruff character. Casey also worked on the ops at ECU. And he would come on, and we're on the air waiting to go on for basketball. And Casey would come over, and I'd be, "Hey, Casey, how you doing?" And he would just kind of, that's what he would say.
Yeah. To be fair, it does sound like it's more Sal and Deanna that are hooking you up the tickets, and Sal and Deanna are great people. And I can see them hooking
Wait a
you
minute.
out.
Time out. Yeah. Casey's dad is named Sal?
Yeah, man, they're very New York.
We need a whole story on this. Casey's from New York? Okay, this explains the whole thing. Never mind.
His dad's side of the family's from New York. His mom's side is from Goldsboro.
Well, that's an interesting pairing right there.
Yeah.
Goldsboro, New York. We're cutting into valuable time here for Jonathan Wagner on the show today on 3.coms. Well, good for you, Wags. I'm glad you're getting the Wags, pro tip, bucket hat. Bucket hat.
Oh, I've got it ready.
I was about to say, ask Davis to bring you one if you don't have one.
I mean, look, if you need, I know you're a high-paid, high-flying executive there at On 3, but I will start a GoFundMe to get you a sizable sombrero or something, because I do not want your ears to be the color of the NC State Wolfpack like they were a year or two ago.
after last year's fiasco with my ears and the sunburn, or 2 years ago, I asked for a bucket hat for Christmas that year.
Okay.
So
All
I
right.
have one now, so it is ready.
Is it an ECU bucket hat by chance?
It is an ECU
Even better.
bucket hat.
Even better. Great. Wags needs to be considered a great ECU alum, Pilk. How do we get this done for Jonathan
no, when you
Wagner?
go on the Wikipedia page, they have like notable alum.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not on there. And
I know
but
a
that ship has
national
sailed.
writer. Yeah.
But I mean, he's a national talent. Why can't we get him on?
I'll call the people at Wikipedia.
Can people still edit Wikipedia themselves?
I don't know. According to the song White and Nerdy, you can.
Okay, get the interns then to do an entry for Wags. But I mean, they need to back it up with some stuff like a bio on On3. So work on this.
All right.
Pilk, that's my assignment for the intern. When I come back next week, I want an update on this.
All righty.
Thank you. All right, Jonathan Wagner, we're finally going to – enough of the tomfoolery. Like I said, we talked to you the other day. For folks that didn't listen to or watch that program, to me, there are a couple of big stories out of the selection process, maybe a handful. As it pertains to East Carolina, that Chapel Hill regional is pretty tough. So the Tar Heels losing the ACC championship seemed to get a little bit of short shrift from the committee. The committee just leaves Mercer out. Of course, I've since really studied the Mercer resume, and it is tremendous. They deserve to be in as an at-large. UTSA getting out, the more I look at that, Wags, it's not a surprise. I just kind of wonder what would have happened with East Carolina had UTSA somehow won the championship. And the other thing I will say is, of course, the big one, NC State getting in, is a bit of a mercy deal, charitable deal for Elliott Avent going out on a retirement tour, being able to do so in the NCAA. So I'll let you pick one of those and kind of roll with it as you want, those topics and anything that you think I may have missed.
Yeah, I think the Chapel Hill Regional is definitely tough. For me, it is the toughest because Tennessee, they started slow, but they're a 2 seed that you don't want to see in your regional. And North Carolina, as the 5th national seed, gets arguably the toughest regional in all of them. Nebraska has a tough regional. Kansas has a tough regional as well. But Chapel Hill being the 5th overall seed and getting Tennessee, ECU, and then arguably the toughest 4 seed in VCU, that it's just kind of a brutal draw, and it seems to happen a lot to Carolina. But yeah, I think the biggest takeaway for me is Mercer not being in. They're, I believe, the highest or one of the highest RPI teams. They finished RPI 28. They won 44 games. The SoCon was the 7th best RPI conference, and they won that regular season, and they didn't get in. So you could put Kentucky, who went 13-17 in the SEC, won 2 SEC series, and went 0-1 in the SEC tournament. Got to get them in because they play in the SEC.
Yeah.
And then the reasoning for leaving Mercer out was that they didn't play a tough non-conference schedule, and their non-conference strength of schedule was outside of the top 200. But you know who else was? NC State. So
yeah.
I don't get it. We know why NC State got in, and NC State played a tough ACC schedule, but to me, the logic and the explanation didn't seem consistent. They used it against Mercer, but it wasn't used against NC State. They used it for some other teams and didn't use it against some others. So I wasn't a fan of that decision by the committee, and I think they got that one wrong.
Do you think had the outcome been different, ECU would have gotten in as an at-large?
I don't feel great about it, to be honest with you. And ECU's metrics were better than UTSA's. RPI was better and all of that stuff. But I think it, like Cliff said, I think it probably would have come down to a 50-50. Going into Championship Sunday, I think it was a 50-50. And it just matters. Again, it's tough to say whether or not ECU would have, because who knows which way the committee would have been consistent in this argument. Now, having John Gilbert there against, say, a Texas State, a Troy, might work in your favor with John Gilbert in the room. But it's one of those things. It's risky, and I would have been very much sweating it out once we got to 12 noon on Monday.
Well, and here's the other thing. We talked about this, and you corrected us on it. When they did the last in, it wasn't last 4 in order. It was alphabetical order. So we all kind of thought at the time, well, Troy got in last, so at ECU lost. ECU did have the head-to-head over Troy, so they would have gotten. Not necessarily the case.
Yeah, and that's the other biggest gripe I have with the committee this year is they didn't show us who's the true last four in, who's the last team in, who's the second to last team in, who's the first team out. We don't know because they put them in alphabetical order on the broadcast, and I don't like that. I feel like if you're a committee and if you have a human committee made up of humans that's deciding teams' postseason fates, I feel like you should have to show as much work as possible. Mm-hmm. So I want to see the order. And it goes down to eventually I want to see teams 1 through 64 all ranked, all seeded, and go the full way. But, then on your bubble currently, you got to show us an order. Don't do the alphabetical. Don't take the easy way out. And then with the 2 seeds, they made a big deal about seeding teams 1 through 32, and then we only got the true seeds for team 1 through 16. Now, could they play it off and say, oh, yeah, the 2 seeds are all in order, how we seeded them? But I think there's probably some manipulation that goes on there to get some teams in some regionals and avoid some conferences.
I think, Wags, more than anything, and there's the little good old boy, backslapping, backroom deals, cigar smoke that goes on, I think, in these committees. But baseball, to me, seems like the one that maybe is the least transparent and where more of these sort of backroom deals are cut. I'm not trying to disparage John or anybody that's on that committee necessarily, but just some of the things that have happened, and even some things in ECU's favor. I think there are those that kind of look out for people, and maybe that's the way of the world, and I'm being Pollyanna, but I don't know, man. That just it seems like there's a lot of skullduggery that is going on at times.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know what the answer is to fix it, but the fact is when you have, like I said, humans in that room, and each of those humans has individual interests, whether or not it's playing a role or not, the interests are there. Whether or not your team is in those conversations on making the tournament or hosting or squeezing in and getting a better regional. If you're an athletic director for a team like John Gobert being for East Carolina, this shouldn't be part of the conversation, but it is. So I don't know what the solution there, but when you have that at play and you have, the Florida State athletic director is the chairman this year, and could he be looking out for the ACC a little more with NC State being in and Virginia Tech being a 2 seed, which I also thought was crazy. So it's that conversation is never going to go away until either you come up with a solution to take the human element out of it, or I think you just start showing your work. So I don't know what the answer is there.
Wags.
Be more transparent.
Inspired to being a math teacher, telling everybody to show their work.
That's what Wags is right. It needs to be more transparent. All right, let's hit a break. Come back, Wags. You can hang. We're going to have prediction time from Jonathan Wagner from On3.com when we come back.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Need cash for a vacation? National Finance Company is here to help. For over 50 years, National Finance Company has been the small loan specialist with loans from $1,000 to $5,000 with low payments to meet your budget. We're in the business of getting you the cash you need today. Apply online for a loan at one of our convenient branch offices and get your money as fast as today. It's easy. Get the vacation cash you need. For extra cash, visit nfcmoney.com.
We're back to the show.
I missed you. We all missed you. Did you miss them?
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Lightning round with Jonathan Wagner on 3.com. Wags with us here, ECU alum, great friend of the program. He's very excited, does a wonderful job. He, from weekend one, was predicting the field of 64 for the NCAA baseball tournament, and he nailed the Pirate prediction in his final prediction where they would wind up what seed. So let's start there. Granular level first. We're going to have you pick the winners of the regional, so we got to go quick here. But granular level with ECU and Tennessee. Who wins Friday at noon and why?
I think Tennessee wins. I think it's going to be a good game, but I just think Tennessee has too much star power. They have too much home run power in that lineup, and I think they're just a little bit deeper pretty much everywhere. So I think Tennessee is just a better team. It'll be a good game, but I think Tennessee has the edge, and it's going to be a tough weekend to get where ECU wants to get unless they're perfect in every spot.
All right, we're going to go through the regions here, but let's start with that Chapel Hill regional since we went there with the ECU game. Who ultimately wins, and how far do you see the Pirates maybe getting?
I think ECU will win the first losers bracket game against VCU, but I think North Carolina will win that regional.
Gotcha. Let's start at the top. UCLA's region with St. Mary's, Cal Poly, and Vatech.
Yep, UCLA, I think, will cruise through that one.
West Virginia, if they're not hosted for the first time ever, it's the first time in a long time, maybe the second time ever. So you got West Virginia in at the 16 with Binghamton, Kentucky, and Wake Forest in that regional.
Yeah, I love that West Virginia team, so I think they do it over Kentucky in that regional final.
Gainesville and our old friend Kevin O'Sullivan is a number one seed, gets to be at home, so he shouldn't be having as many tantrums. Miami is in there, the Canes, followed by Troy and Ryder. Who you got?
I like Miami, I like Troy, but give me Florida to come out on top in a very tight regional.
All right, opposed on the other side of the bracket to Miami, or rather the Florida regional in Gainesville, Southern Miss, Little Rock, Jacksonville State, and Virginia. This seems like Virginia, if they can get their act together, they're so offensive. This might be ripe for the pickings for the Wahoos.
This is my most underrated regional. I think it's very fun. The first three teams could all do it. But I like Southern Miss over Jacksonville State in that regional final. I love that Jack State team.
Very good. Opposite of the Chapel Hill one is Texas A&M, Lamar, Texas State, and USC.
Yeah, give me Texas A&M. I just don't think USC has enough.
All right, other side of the bracket, Auburn Regional. You got the War Eagle, Milwaukee, MooU, and UCF. Who you got and why?
Give me Auburn. I just think their pitching is too deep, and they're too deep all around. I don't think that one's going to be close, to be honest with you.
All right, opposite side of the bracket there, top seed Nebraska hosting. They've got South Dakota State, and then it'll be Arizona and Ole Miss in that pod. Who you got out of there?
I love this regional. Nebraska, Ole Miss, Arizona State, all really good teams. My first upset, give me Arizona State the 3 seed to come out of Lincoln.
All right, Atlanta Regional, Georgia Tech against the Flames of Illinois, Chicago, then the Citadel, and Oklahoma.
Yep, give me Georgia Tech. Their offense is just too much.
Yeah, it's crazy. Kansas, Northeastern, who is the representative out of the CAA, not Campbell, Missouri State, and Arkansas.
Yeah, this is a trendy upset pick for some people, but not for me. I'm a big fan of that Kansas team, and I think they move on.
All right, Alabama, Alabama State, USC Upstate, and Oklahoma State in the Tuscaloosa Regional. I believe they're the 9. What do you got?
They're the 7, Alabama is, and another upset pick for me. I like Oklahoma State to come out of Tuscaloosa.
This is why we have Wags to correct me on here. All right, Florida State, I think they're hosting for like the 345th time, which is a record. Check me on that too, Wags. St. John's, Coastal Carolina, who has had kind of an up and down year with the injuries, but I think dangerous, and then Northern Illinois.
Yeah, Florida State and Coastal, both 2 teams that will go to the regional final, but I do think Florida State will come out on top.
Okay. Austin Super, Texas, along with Holy Cross, Tarleton State, and UC Santa Barbara. This is another kind of trendy pick for some with Santa Barbara.
Yeah, I love Santa Barbara, Jackson, Florida, potential top 3 pick in the MLB draft, but Texas has too much. I think they come out.
All right, got some more here, 3 more. We're doing all right on time. Wags is with us. He's picking the winners of the regionals. Pilk is, I'm sure, recording all of this, so the record is official. Am I right about that, Pilk?
Yep, it's on record.
I thought you were going to be on top of it. Great job, Pilk. All right, Oregon, Yale, Washington State, and Oregon State. Little Holy War action.
Yeah. Old Pac-12 rivalry regional here, but I like Oregon. I think Oregon has a chance against Texas and Supers in that matchup as well.
Cool. Let's go Mississippi State, Lipscomb, Louisiana, and Cincinnati.
Yeah, I like that Louisiana team a lot, but I just think Mississippi State has too much power, and I think they're going to come out.
And then Georgia, Long Island, Liberty, and BC, Boston College.
Yeah, it's the same thing I said of Georgia Tech. Just too much power in that Georgia lineup. I don't think anybody will be able to kind of top them. So give me the Bulldogs to come out of that one.
This is very chalky of you, Wes.
I was about to say, would he hit about 2, maybe 3 non-hosts?
But you know,
I was just thinking about that. But
I think, Wags, though, this is the way of the world, though. I mean, I think this is baseball has become really, really top heavy, and I think a lot of the reason is it's not the type of money that's being spent in football or basketball. So, I mean, if you spend a decent amount of money, you can, it doesn't break the bank necessarily, but you can get dudes. And so I think that's now eventually that may balance out. But all right, I don't want to. I got one more prediction I want to get from you, Wags. Unlike Pilkington, we're not bandwagon fans here. Our Carolina Hurricanes are playing tonight for a chance to go up 3-1. Give me your prediction. Canes Habs tonight. Who wins and why?
Yeah, it's a desperation game for both teams, I believe. Canes are up 2-1 in the series. Montreal has to win it. But the Canes looked their best in a while in games 2 and 3 of the series, and they were still tight games. But I just think the Canes I have a great feeling, and that's scary to me that I feel so good. But I think Montreal is going to come out desperate, and I think they might be a little undisciplined at times. Give me the Canes. I think the Stars are going to show up tonight. The Aho Svechnikov Jarvis line, and Freddie Anderson will have another great game. So give me the Canes to go up 3-1.
If we go to Vegas, and I say we because you and I are Caniacs, if we go to Vegas, I'm trying to get Pilkington to muscle us through the red tape here and do a show from Vegas. Canes at Las Vegas. So can we add Wags to the crew that day, Pilk?
Yeah, you want to come for game 3?
Yeah.
All right. Wags, P-Man, the Hammer, the Big Hen, Pilkington. That's the 5 horsemen right there.
Yeah. Poor Tom stuck back here at the radio ranch.
Well, that's all right. They can stay. Dom will be fine. He's got to call the Dingbats or whatever, the River Rabbits or whatever they are called. The Duck Storks.
River Bandits.
River Bandits. There you go. Yeah. Wags, how was your appearance at the did you have fun real quick at the you went to the game last Saturday, right?
Yes, I was there for game 2 on Saturday.
How was that?
It was a fun one.
Was it a hootenanny?
I had a couple. Yeah, it was a great atmosphere. It was my first playoff game this season, which is rare for me to be this late. But it was a great atmosphere. The Canes looked pretty good, and it was a quick overtime, which I was thankful for.
Yeah.
So
it was also
really
like
fun.
20 degrees outside. So that was the other thing. It was very cold in Raleigh that day. All right. Hey, Wags, great to see you, buddy. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you doing this. And SPF 30 at least, Wags, for Friday afternoon.
I
Okay.
will be all sunscreened up on those ears just for you, Patrick.
All right. Well, I don't want. I mean, you could have led a reindeer-drawn sleigh with your ears, as red as they were after the appearance in Greenville. All right. Thank you, Wags. We're going to hit a break and come back and wrap things up for the week for me. Patrick Johnson show here, and Pilk, you'll find this interesting. Some just-in news possibly. So we'll have that for you on the other side.
The power of savings is yours at Greenville Toyota with powerful deals on our huge selection of new Toyotas, like a Camry, $229 a month, or the all-new RAV4, $279. Don't miss the power of savings at Greenville Toyota.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
Visit Larry's Steakhouse for a tender, hand-cut certified Angus ribeye. Other entrees include perfectly seasoned pork chops, chicken, or seafood favorites like shrimp, tuna, and salmon. Complement your meal with Larry's fresh 20-plus item salad bar, or enjoy it as an all-you-can-eat entree. Daily rotating favorites include meatloaf, chicken pastry, hamburger steak, spaghetti, pork chops, and more, all complemented with your favorite country sides. Whether it's for lunch, dinner, or our Sunday brunch, remember to support and eat local. Larry's Steakhouse.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
The hunting and fishing event of the summer comes to the Greenville Convention Center, July 11th and 12th, bringing together the best hunting and fishing vendors, outfitters, and fishing experts, all under one roof. Special free events, including a mountain trout pond, indoor archery range, offshore fishing experience, interactive duck blind, and free seminars. Don't miss it. The Mid-Atlantic Hunting and Fishing Expo is July 11th and 12th.
With new Toyota trucks from $259 a month, you've got the power of savings at Greenville Toyota. Drive Tacomas $259 a month or Tundras only $399 a month at Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
And now, the stunning conclusion.
Why is everyone screaming?
On 94.3 The Game.
I probably should have told you this in break, but a good producer would have, or a good host would have let his producer know to bring up the chairman of the board, Frank Sinatra, a little New York. Because.
We can play it going out.
All right. Because New York, Pilk, with the Knicks in the NBA Finals, they may host a game in the finals at MSG next month.
Game 6.
And France's World Cup opener at MetLife would be held on the same day. You talk about traffic.
I mean, I guess the one thing is, gosh, do we not have New York in our system?
Oh, no, probably not. I don't know. John Moore might. Why don't you scream and ask him? Because
no, the only Sinatra we have is Christmas stuff. How do we not have any? All right, well, to the YouTube.
Can you scream at John Moore and ask him? Because he might be able to hear you if you did.
Hey, John! But no, yeah, I did see that. That would be ridiculous. I guess the one thing is at least, MetLife's in Jersey.
Sure.
It's across the, you got to go through the turnpike there to get to,
right. Yeah.
But still, man, that's ridiculous. And, but hey, can anybody actually afford to show up to these World Cup games? I mean, are they really going to have attendance? I mean, you were talking about it yesterday. The hotels are upset. They're not selling out like they thought they were going to.
No, they're sure not. They are sure not. All right. Pilk will be covering the regional. He'll be putting stuff on the socials. He'll also be hosting the show tomorrow, and he'll be hosting the show from Sup Dogs at Chapel Hill. Do the interns go to Sup Dogs here?
I don't think they're going to the Chapel Hill Sup Dogs.
What did they go here? Well, Kayleen
works there.
You work there, right?
And Mary admitted yesterday to having never been.
Well, can you get Mary into the Sup Dogs sometime? Okay. All right, we're gonna do it. Bring a couple buddies, Mary, and show up, and Kayleen will pay your bill, or Pilk will. We're gonna let Pilk do it. All right. I'll be back on Monday. Go Pirates against the Vols.